Did we mention this last episode? I don't think we did. Well, hello, Professor Bright here. Welcome back to a new session of Book of Hours, and I have to say, I think I really do need to take a break between each of these episodes because it gives me so much time to just think and digest, and honestly, my obsession with playing this game is getting to be a bit much. Suffice to say, I've been playing this a lot, some might say, and, well, the published series is a wee bit behind. Something I'm going to work on improving in the near future. But, ignoring the sort of, not really meta-narrative, but meta-discussions to be had, here I have learned several useful things. For one, Silver Spintry should be censored on YouTube, probably. But also, are ductile, which means I can make this into a silver wire, in theory. If I knew how to make things... I see. Two identical ductile items can be drawn into wire. Well then, that is less of an option. Okay. Ignore what I just said, but that is not the only thing I have sort of discovered. To a degree, I have discovered this. So, as you know, reading is hard. It's difficult, and it takes a lot out of me, and in fact, I can't do exactly what I want to do because my Faust is currently occupied with this uncanny labors, taking a whole minute. Dearie me. But the thing I want to show you is that I now realize at these reading desks, I can use ink to make up for some of the deficiencies of my soul and skill and memories. So in the very near future, we're going to be using that. I don't recall what I wanted to use you for, so you're going to return here for now. Although, I will note, I now have the beginnings of a binder full of notes on what everything is. Also, Ambrose, I'm sorry, I just need to put you somewhere not here so I forget. Well, so I don't forget about you. You're number 5 now. Congratulations. Ah, dear. And furthermore, we have some abandoned librarian quarters, which appear to have some potted plants that look delightful and ingestible, and possibly may be used to make other new things, but also are very easy to open, which to me says that once we get through some of these more difficult rooms, looking at you, we might have easier rooms as well. I doubt that these will get much easier, because, I mean, this one's 10. I'm sorry. With maniacal but methodical care, someone has disassembled the clock and scattered it around the room. Wheels and parts have been piled and lent on every surface. A W has been marked on the stairs in soot. Whoever W is, they're an asshole. Looking at you, Ambrose. But yes, time must march on so that I can get my Faust back. And figure out what this is. I don't know, there's a sort of mania that grips me when I play this game. Something I need to watch out for. I need to be more willing to take a slower pace. To calm myself. And to think. For the love of all that is unholy, think. The orchid. Why do I keep saying orchid? The orchid transfiguration's a birth. Requesting Grail. And it's a second volume of a 3-volume set, one of which we have the 3rd volume already, I believe. You aren't infected with anything nonsensical? No, good. Yes, oh, and I've done some partial reorganization. Not complete yet, but we're getting there. Progress is being made. I also want to consider, because I think that I should wait for Faust to restore before I do anything else. Pardon, one moment. Oh dear. I also think I'm coming down with something. Oh, and one more thing we've learned in between episodes. So, the way the skills organize is by alphabet, and then by skill level, which is useful, because, hold a moment, I haven't used you for anything, and you're level 2 skill now, so... what can you do? Let's see here. We have... Pardon? Ha-ha! I knew I was missing a part of my soul. So obviously we're going to be going with this option, but let's see what the other option is first before I commit. Before I commit to preservation, let's look at the Bosque. Grail and Moth. The gods from stone made a law that the keys of dream cannot be held or owned. The time of stone is past, but the keys remain. So the holders of these keys can only be the 7 Ligaeans, whose crime has set them outside the law. But the Ligaeans serve an hour of Grail and Moth. When the last remnants of the god from stone are consumed, the law will be consumed with them. Bosque is the wisdom of change. Concerning. But no, well actually, what does that give me? No, if I assign you here, you grant me health, which, I mean, more health would be nice, but no. I need soul elements, and one that presumably, given its coloration, has Grail and maybe Heart as well? I mean, I could use Nectar, honestly, but I'll take it. The gods from stone made a law that the keys of dream cannot be held or owned. The time of stone is past, but the keys remain, so the holders of these keys can only be the 7 Ligaeans, whose crime has set them outside the law, and the Ligaeans serve an hour of Moth and Grail. Oh, when the last remnants of the gods from stone are renewed, the law will be renewed with them. Preservation is the wisdom of renewal. That the keys of dream cannot be held or owned. Curious. But yes, we have core, exuberance, instinct, rhythm. Things that I could use. And Grail and Heart. Oh, well, now we are in business. I have a mostly complete soul. I say mostly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And Faust being the 9th. Aha! My soul is fully armed and operational, as they say. As has been said. Now, unfortunately, what I need is some of those Oh. I really hope I can get one more Orchard Keeper, because I have so many things that require nectar. Although now I have a better source of heart. An equally good source of heart, I suppose. Oh well. Such is reality sometimes. Sometimes you don't get the best. But now remind me. Let's see, you just need 3 of basically whatever I want. And you know, we haven't spoken with Mrs. Kille. Not in a while. Pardon. Not in a while. So let's have her help. Will you just help regardless, or do I need to... I can't hand you a shilling. Fair enough. Oh? Dr. Serena Black, you're alive? Oh, a Fusine speaker. Interested in Forge and Lantern. Well, I mean... I don't speak Fusine. I would like to. In fact, I think I need to. No, you're Ramsund. You're just infected. Huh? Written in Vac. In Sabazine. And Kilassimi. Which, by the way, I started moving these back here and probably should continue that practice. Just to keep them away from the infected, as it were. One moment. There we are. Nope. Appreciated. Oh, you have less heart than I thought you did. Well... Can I get her to 8 Grail? Probably not. But what I can definitely do is get some help with the librarian's quarters. Thank you. And we'll help you using core, our latest element. Although if I want her assistance with Grail, I see what must be done. Although, do I want something else? Well, no. After all, I need many things, and so here we are. Phrygian, Greek, Latin, Fusine is the one that I want. But, one-time Librarian of Hush House, one-time Librarian of the Invisible Serapeum in Alexandria, and currently, what exactly? Serena's closed mouth, but I know that she's worked with the St. Ronwin Trust before. Alright. Well, once I'm done speaking with the midwife, then we will work from there. Now, as for my uncanny labors, oh no. Afterward, I don't remember what work I performed except in scents and sensations, leaf mold, a rhythmical musical clicking like melodious castanets, soft blue flame like antique gaslight, and cold. I remember that where we went, it was cold. My inner light gutters, then flares. I'm snared in a dangerous fascination. Cured with 7 nectar. Oh. Well, on the other hand... On the other hand... I had intended these to be used to make someone capable of defeating this whole nectar infestation we have going on here. But I'm seeing now that I have to... Let's look into other options before I go down that path. For one, we have the option of getting Blue Crown. What is Blue Crown? I do not know. I would love to know, but I do not. Oh, and I need somewhere I can rest that deals with Lantern. Can I please just stay in my current bed? No. I mean, don't get me wrong, the Spintry are worth it, I guess. But it's a little discouraging to keep getting all my best stats maladied, sickened, distorted. Actually, distorted is a very good word for this. Now, one more second. Thank you. If you could help me with the quarters, please, at the very least. Well, I guess this delivery. I had ordered copper wire. After all. We'll just use our shaft here. For the sake of money. And, Dr. Serena. Now, let's talk about this affair of the unfettered eye. Masana, the blindness, the farsight, I smell a watchman's name. And you don't need much in the way of lantern, so... why not? I've known adepts who don't believe the watchman has any names at all, besides Sunset Celia, of course, but they're wrong. But it can be very, very difficult to distinguish the names from the hour itself in this case. I'll need to read up. Well, I do have Prophecies of Glory. You just want something relatively easy. Question, if I give you something more complex? No. I should have learned by now not to jump to conclusions. It's not a watchman name at all. I think it just might be a name of the Chandler. I'd heard there was one out in the world causing mischief. Of course, I have to make sure. Thank you. No, thank you. It would be nice if I could grab the language as well, but for the moment, this will do. I'm sure we'll have other opportunities after all. Very good. Now, well, I do use a lot of lantern and winter. Oh, I can't use... Ah, can't be done if it's maladied. There's something from Numa, the time when seems and is crosses swords with history and eternity. Curious, that. Something not Numa-related. Anyway, not important here. What can I have that occupies this? Whist, thank you. Get me to that room so I can defascinate my lantern. Faust, more accurately. Unfortunately, that does put rather a bit of a crimp in my plans. I kind of needed that. On the bright side, I have the Malachite's metal. Wire. You are to live here. For now. It does satisfy the fact of being metal, and actually, that being the case, we have a recipe here. One moment. I've made my notes, so let's look. I need 10 knock, which unfortunately with my Shapt Fatigued is not going to happen in the near future. But I need 10 knock with glass blowing, and something metal to make something. We don't know what exactly, but something. And it does allow for that. The question then will be memory and something to generate 4 knock. 4 knock. That's a bit expensive. You have 2 knock at the very least. Can you serve as fuel? No, you're a candle. Makes sense. Candles can't be fuel. For now, you live here. Also, this is where I put my mirror scope? Terrible positioning. Not that I have many better. I put the lens back over here. And these Thyrsus cordials, I mean, depending on who I can hire, I might find a use for those. We'll see. We shall see. You know, you need moth after all. Something to think on. Something to debate. And in the meantime, as our self is sort of, well, not stuck per se, and in fact, this may be the ideal time to look into you. Because we are close. Tantalizingly so. Let me see. The Agave Eterna, the Trumpeter's Lily. Let's see what we harvest from here. It's going to be winter for a while, and if this gets me a scent memory, it should be enough to allow me to use this with the Ugol ink in order to get ourselves insects and nectars. Which, I mean, given the name, I assume must have nectar, which I need. I restored the rooms set aside by the Curia for the librarian. Oh my. Witching Tisane with Grail and Heart. A watering can. Oh, perfect, a tool. What are you? Inscribed stone. A stone tablet with badly worn scratches that once probably were writing. A twinned fish stone. A half-faceless face that looks very similar to... pardon. You. Something to look into. Oh, appreciate the bronze. And as for you, a little bit of 6 pence, which grants me a florin. I kind of didn't... Well, it's fine. I suppose fortune-telling can be done, but I really don't want to. Now, what I want to do is, unfortunately, wait. I just want to wait. Not true, I want to do many things, but waiting is necessary for them. Blue crown, which grants sky. Hmm. Oh, bother, get over here. Investigate this with some effect. Dissect the flower, nothing will remain, but a memory shall. And that should be sufficient for what I need. Alas, I can't gather more of these just yet. We are close, but not there. I'm sorry, what completed? Something that I wasn't paying entirely enough attention to, unfortunately. Well, we've got God's Return, which grants us more. Oh, yes, and we do forget. When the Curia of the Isle acquired the deed to the abandoned De Wolf estate, Ambrose Westcott became first librarian and had this cozy nook constructed above the north wing to fit his preferences. His successor, Kitty, preferred the room next door. She lamented that the reek of Westcott's pipe remained long after his death, and her successor, Solomon Husher, preferred the long tower for his own chilly reasons. But most librarians have enjoyed the peace and the sea view. Well, aren't you the most useful of lessons? Now, you are the third. The first librarian. Where does he belong? No, you're a baron. Incorrect. Awkward. You, Fraser Strathcone, you are going to live up here, because somewhere in there is where you belong. Whereas you belong here, Ambrose. Second librarian, Kitty Mazarine, and third librarian, that fellow, Solomon Husher. And I think up until... Let me see. Gideon, I believe you were the son of Walter. And that does only leave one place for Musgrave, since you are the first. Yes, up until the fourth librarian, we are all set. Perfect. Let's see here. Where is my consideration? There you are. A memory of scent, which is just enough for me, well, to do many things, but most importantly to me. Well, then. Oh, no. While this does leave me in a bit of an awkward position, I don't really have a better way to do this, so here we go. Let's roll the dice. I wouldn't say I'm in desperate need, but I am in need. There you are. Of some skill that possesses just a little more nectar. I need more than one. Ah, dear. What of my various concoctions? Let's see. Mist-kissed water has not a bit of grail. Armagnac has some, and so does skin-shuck mead, but I don't. I mean, if I must use skin-shuck mead, fine, I will, but I don't want to, is the big thing. A pale bust. An inscription reads, Abra Southie. And the librarian's glasses. They're not lenses, just plain glass, but a certain sort of visitor is disappointed by a librarian who doesn't wear glasses. Fair enough. Oh, and then we have these various potted plants. Well, Thomas de Wolf was fond of these. It's not what you'd expect from Thomas de Wolf. Unfortunately, these potted plants don't really do anything for me, as far as I can tell. In the process of making new things, they are not useful. Do you allow for nectar? No. Ugh. I lack a bed that allows for me to cure my condition. And unfortunately, without curing my condition, I don't think I can... bother. Well, that's not true. I can definitely do more. There are things that can be done. Potentially even many things. Weather times 2 and art. Okay, art I can work with. Weather less so. You just have the 1 nectar. But surely something here has 2 nectar. It must. Please. You count as art? Like, I don't think you do. No. Let's look. You are leaves in the wind. Do you count as art? No, just a thing. You should count as art, I believe. Because it is beneficial to me if you do. Primarily. Let's see. Perfect. To be fruitful. It's a decent copy of a Picasso. Painted 20 years before Picasso painted the original. Brian Levison. Up to his tricks again. Which makes me ask questions. One of Dr. Levinson's prefigures, a close and impossible copy of a painting made 20 years later by Kirchner, whose work Levinson often anticipated in his mirror dreams. To hear those voices, a Levinson prefigure, a copy of the painting that would not be committed to canvas by the real artist for 20 years. So you were... Yep, weather. Painting things before they were. Before they could become. Interesting. Horrifying as well. Well, I guess it's a Picasso. Impressionists. Horrifying in their own way. You might be useful. Holiest hemolymph. Unfortunately, I cannot make use of you. Not to cure my condition. Alright, are we done with the weather? Because I have what I need to do right now. Right here. There we are. Get in there. And finally, we have a skill. Which hopefully will have quite a bit of nectar to it, or maybe it'll get me multiple lessons and that'll be sufficient. Because I do need quite a bit. Now, as for the book itself, Honey, the Comprehensive Guide, Harvey Hattington, pilot, polymath, confectioner, writes with great enthusiasm about the marvelous work of the bee. Hattington insists that all the primary aspects, nectar, scale, heart, lantern, moth, and grail, are possessed by bees and expressed in honey. Clearly, he points out there are only 6 primary aspects, as a honeycomb has only 6 angles. Ugol ink is prepared with these techniques. But so is Skin-Shuck mead. And only Skin-Shuck requires honey, just as any beverage or foodstuff can be improved with the addition of honey, so any garden is improved with the presence of bees, even those bloody blumber and D. Interesting. Skin-Shuck requires honey. Thank you for that information. A shame I don't know what memory you provide, so... For my own education, I would like to know what memory that provides. And you, moon and nectar. Which I don't know if it'll be quite enough. Clouds? Certainly not. And again, I need a bed that has nectar to it, which I don't see. I don't see anything that looks promising, but we'll hire people, we'll open more rooms, and we'll go from there. A fisherman will offer a moon and a little bit of sky. Alright, moon and sky. Sky would require quite some work to get him to 10 sky, though. And none of the rest of these are useful. Except for moon. And moon I might be able to make happen. I forget how much they have. Let's assume 2. And this would bring you to 4. So I would need to find something with 3 moon, which is very doable. I do believe. So yes. By me the assistance of a fisherman. See what we find. 2 moon. I can make that work. And in the meantime... I don't particularly want to use Arab here. What am I definitely not going to use? Fet. There we are. Fet and a shilling. Seek me something unusual. I just want to see what opportunities that pulls up. In the meantime, though, you need, well, many things, first of all. One of which is going to be a little bit of clouds, perhaps. But first and foremost, we collaborate. But then we could also get up here. Well, we'll debate about that later. Right now, I want to use them where they are most useful. And since I don't have anything that... I say anything. Anyone else that has moon aspect besides fishermen, I think that's what I'm going to use them for. But what else? What else? A drink will be needed, obviously. Mist-kissed water, I believe, will be what we give them. Let's see. There you are. Let's see here. Gotta serve this up, so give me 1 moment, sir. 1 moment, please. Oh, and our consideration brought us a contradiction. Oh. Useful little memory, but not exactly what I need. 1 moment while I write this down. And just add... Let's see. I'm terribly sorry. Where did that book go? Oh, bother. My inventory is too stacked at the moment. Honey, the Comprehensive Guide. Nope. No, you do not belong here. Go away. Honey. Guide. Fortunately, not the first time we've run into that particular problem. Let's see here. We're just going to serve this up very nicely. Thank you. In the meantime, you are going to come with me. While we all go back over here. And we'll put this down. What are you? Hound's Gall. Containing a lot of scale. Interesting. Scale and heart. The scale is what interests me. After all, it is the better trait that you contain. Now, question. Question. There's a hunting journal, the hissing key. Other things besides, I'm sure. And what is Hound's Gall? Is it a ink of revelation, of containment? Interesting. Which to me says that if I take my ink of containment skill, I would need to use heart or scale, perhaps, to make that. Interesting. Something for later. I want to preserve that more than use it, though. I suppose in the meantime, where were we? Let's see here. You were going to go back here for now. We're close on you, but not quite there. And you can go over here. Well, can you actually fit in this little corner? Perfect. Thank you, appreciated. Moving along. Well, not true. Consider insects and nectars. For we find ourselves in need of such things. Now, the mist-kissed water is going to get you close, but it's not going to quite get you where you need to be. Hate to say it. It's not. But it gets you closer, and that's good enough for me. So drink up. Now, I need to find a tool with moon. Are you a tool? You are a comfort and a liquid. Which renders you rather useless to me. Sorry. But it does. Now, moon. In the form of a substance or a tool. Rather, I said substance. Sustenance or a tool. Now, let me just look at what tools are available to me. Oh. Scale. Moon. Perfect. I appreciate your existence. Thank you. And let the mist-kissed water back over here until we've unlocked that pantry. Which, unfortunately, will be a bit longer still, but, well, we endure. We endure as we must. All right. A surrealist painter who provides Grail and Moth. You are just perfect if I could get my hands on you. Okay, so Grail and Moth wish to be preserved. Sure, while it does provide some, can be used here, and then I suppose I'll use one of my healths as well. The lesser of the two healths. Oh, and by the way, I need a sample here. There you are. Let's see what we come up with in winter. And now we have the skill, which grants me 2 nectar. The hive, the nest, and the chrysalis are the 3 secret principalities of the lesser world. 2 of those 3 know the temptations of sweetness, and this allows me to do candlery. Fair enough. I assume I must have beehives somewhere in all this. And now, hi, have you seen this globe? It's a lovely lunar globe. Which actually wouldn't be the worst thing to grab a piece of, but, well. Anyway, let's see here. Our memories of contradiction. How do I want to use you, though? You are powerful in edge. And I do have you. You're just a scroll. So if I were to consider you, it would get me close. True. I don't think I have anything else with more edge, correct? Let me just double check that. Arab? Only has 1 edge. Useless. But as for skills with edge, I imagine Sharps has the most. Yes, we'll use Sharps. And then I just need to get 2 more edge to get through that and find the edicts in... Edicts Martial, I believe was the proper one. Now you, dear friend, you are all ready to help us. Help, please. I would like access to the well, to see and to know. Now, as for this, and this... In the war room, oddly enough. Just a penny short. But Shapt will fix that for me. And then I do hope you have quite a bit of moth. But even if you don't... Perhaps not then if you don't. Grail of 8, Grail of 7. We will think and observe. You want memory. Unfortunate that. Memory, things I can work with. And duende, which I don't know what that mood does for me, so... Delightful. And now I have a source of well. Water. I can throw a penny in, of all things. Tempting, but not right now. I am kind of curious what sort of water we'll drag up, so let's find out. Let us learn. An overgrown kitchen garden. With bees! And possibly other things. This place has been surrendered to wind and weed. Bees buzz menacingly. Somewhere, something clucks plaintively. And eggs, too? Ah, perfect. Okay. That is going to be a source of sustenance for us. It just needs 9 grail. Oh, well. How ambitious am I? Do I think I can make use of you before you disappear? No, I don't believe I can. And again, I might be wrong. As for you and your desire for things with edge, I do have a sword. How much edge does a sword have? Look at you. Being perfect for what I want to use you for. Dearie, dear me. Now, as for money. Appreciated. Make that a florin. And I get... I may regret this. I do not regret this. Hold. Hold. I need something with moth to give you. Not much moth. Skin shuck meat is a bit much. This would be perfect, actually. If that would work. 6, yes. So, get you out, then put you back in. Now, a pigment. Oh, perfect. Well, I don't know. Does this serve for you? No. But pigments. Interesting. I could probably make use of that, actually. But no. But yes. It's excessive. Yes, true. True. It is a lot. But maybe. We're in something of a tight schedule, you see. Ruby Wise Ruin. A ruddy liquor wrung from flowers even though the flowers aren't red. Again, useful. She does have an abundance of grail, and I do have a dim hall in need of... well, someone with grail. Or the overgrown kitchen garden. Actually, definitely worth it. Given our current situation. I think it must be. Sacrament Callicite. I hope these 30 seconds are enough for us. I truly, truly do. Because otherwise we are in trouble. As for the Leonine Tantra, in the most notorious translation of the Leonine Tantra, Ashley Phillips is listed as the translator, but their existence is explicitly denied in the prologue. This confusion is characteristic of books which mention the Great Hooded Princes. The Tantra describes, elliptically, the Great Hooded Princes and the multitudinous ways in which they influenced wars against foreign invaders of the land of the Great River, that being Egypt, I presume. Although in a sense they were also invaders. Lions can be created not as children are created, nor as words are created, but as weapons are created. The Great Hooded Princes learnt to create lions from their spyings on the affairs of the hours, and not all lions now serve the Golden General. Lessons in Edict Martial, and a memory of fear. Oh, 2 scale, 1 edge. Oh, I think I have that recorded incorrectly. One edge, 2 scale. Pardon the paper noises, although it does let me tag this as ASMR, I suppose. The Leonine Tantra provides fear. And actually, this just seems more comfortable for me to use. There we go. To use paper and pen rather than my annoying little Notepad++, which is not quite behaving the way I want it to. Sad but true. Oh, by the way, I probably should be working. Seeing as I have 0 money left, and by 0 money I mean 5 pence. Okay, can you just finish a little bit faster? You're kind of making me nervous. Thank you. Unlock this, please. I like that I sent a painter in to deal with a garden, but, well, What was I to do? Consider the edicts martial. And consider this memory of fear. Does the memory of fear not have edge in it? Oh, I'm sorry. I misplaced that. My apologies. There we are. Which means I'm going to be able to, either horrifically or illumination to improve whatever I assign it to. Okay. Okay. Oh, and we have water. Isle water. Ooh. Perfect. From Bankrug's Deep Springs. Can I put this here? No. Well, no, I'm not going to drop it into the well. Don't be insane. Why would I do that? But it does have heart and winter. And moon. And it is also a liquid, which is useful. Let me get a glass of this. As for the Leonine Tantra, we're just going to put that over here for now. I believe all of these have been mastered. Yes. Delightful. You have not, but that should be a relatively simple thing. Now that I know what I'm doing, more or less. Edicts Martial. Delightful. Although perhaps I should be very careful about how I use this. No. Get over there for now. Conflict creates gods. All the hours are defined by their opposition to other hours, just as we are defined by the battles we choose. This is a matter of the horrifically wisdom, which grants me metal. Oh, bother. Get back over here. And is the only option I have for using it. I mean, Forge is a useful aspect. Might be worth doing that. Now back to the house itself. The house proper. Let me see here. Oh, there's already some Armagnacs in a glass. Alas, that it is nectar. Sacrament malachite is a restorative. Well, hello. Now I just need to find some place to restore my Faust, so I can get on with the lantern deeds I wished to do, but matters for the future. I must find many a bed, unfortunately. Night has fallen and dawn will come soon. Oh. And money. Delightful. Yeah. More for the sake of it than anything else. Ah, wonderful. You've finished. And now, the gentle climate of Cornwall supports grapevines, even. Harvest in spring and summer. Nourishing vegetables in summer and autumn. And yet more in summer and autumn. But slightly more important, perhaps, bees, like librarians, are not to be trifled with. Oh, but I know how to do that. I know a thing or two about insects and nectar. Alright. Something for the near future. Perhaps even the very near future. Oh, and we have a wine cellar. Oh. Well, that's awful. Infested wine cellar. Something much bigger layered here. The walls and ceilings are smeared with its slimes. It's gone, but its children remain. Wriggling in every shadow. We'll have to clear, lure, or drive them out. And the wounded room. Blood drips from wet-edged cracks in the ceiling here. Pooling on the floor. Another rage-fueled presence that I could use help to lay. That looks like a bed to me. Heart and knock. And a maze-crazed room. Wires are strung tightly and crazily throughout this room, snaring the bed legs to window latches, the window latches to the wardrobe handles. Every movement brings a ripple of musical pings. It'll need time and patience to unravel. Ah, dearie me. Ah, if only you allowed for nectar. Ah, the one thing I do not have enough of. And cannot find enough of, I must say. Ah, well. We'll see what tomorrow does to us. Are there other options for dealing with you? Malady can be cured with bed rest and something suitable, perhaps green and soothing, to drink. So hold, please. No, you just have nectar to you. Nothing else. The problem of a pure substance. I can't sort of wiggle my way around using it. Like I can with Skin Shock, which is very versatile, and I do appreciate that. What does Dias go with? Possible I could figure something out using one of my memories. You see what I have here. I have one that has +1 nectar. Oh, what's a storm grant to us? A storm grants us heart and sky. I do want to finish these off. But I also want to transition over here. And the Wounded Room does appear to have a bed. Multiple beds, in fact. Well, as I recall, the midwife had some aspects I might make use of. Oh, an offer from Oriflamme's. Written in Vac, which is useless to me. On the origins of ours, I do wish to know this. So, of course. Perhaps against my better judgment. Still just fishermen? Still just fishermen. But when we say just fishermen... Let's see. Moon and sky. Moon and sky. Remind me, do you take nectar? You do not. You have scale to you. Which, don't get me wrong, very useful, but very much not what I am currently working for. Or working towards. You, though, while I am thinking of it. Where is my little bit of nectar? Nectar, nectar, nectar. There you are. It's unlikely to garner much from the hive at this time of the year, but we will try. Oh, and we have the... Can I not do anything with the chickens? Terence, the chicken. Tuppence, the other chicken. Was this magnificent... Regarding Terence, the chicken, was this magnificent and indomitable beast named for the rector's indomitable and magnificent housekeeper? Best not to inquire too closely on that. Although it is interesting, it is a beast. We have beasts. They're also cooperative. Just like the shrines are. Curious. Tuppence's... Bother me. Tuppence's most notable quality, all observers will agree, is that she is not Terence. Inspect this beast. It can be more rewarding to talk with the beast, though. Oh? I must know. Offer this beast my company. Perhaps it will offer something in return. I need to know. Like, I need to know. What else is there to say? And also we have a sample of the Lenten Rose. Ah, dear. Although I may yet regret that. Now, as for me, on this matter, I already regret it because I just gave up all my heart today. Ah. Well, let's see what we can do, instead of focusing on what we can no longer do. We have quite a bit of heart available to us. And so we might make it to the Motley Tower very easily. Thank you. Or it may be a bit of a challenge to make it to the Motley Tower. 4 heart, 4 sky. And she only has 1 heart, so the pantry might be a decent... Well, Let us look upon our various alcohols. Ah, dear, I worry about people of this time period. Well, that actually should be just enough to open this way up. But I might have a better option. Let's see. Let us look upon what is available to us. This mist-kissed water is the same amount of heart, so it is irrelevant. Oh. Ruby Wise Ruin. Oh. The Amethyst Ampule does have 2 heart to it, but it doesn't seem like something I can give or use. You know, I think there was a tool that had heart. I could give sustenance. This is true. Oh, I already have honey. And Kuko honey. Well, I can use this as well. So together this is 6, which gives me 7 heart. I could probably push it further. Let me just serve up a little bit of the Isle water, if you don't mind terribly. Don't mind me just talking to the chickens, getting you glasses of water. As is done. Let's see. There should be a tool somewhere in all of this that has heart. I do recall getting it, I just didn't write it down as to what it was. Apologies, I suppose. Let's look. Statues with heart. Something here. Pardon me. Regensburg Balm. Which, actually, I might want to use for the nectar business, but that's another problem for us to solve, unfortunately. The mackerel has heart? I mean, yes, it does. Relatively small amounts of heart. Oh! A basket of towels. Good to know we had those. The heart has heart. Yes, thank you. Very helpful. And let us see. What about that staff? What do you have in you? Merely lantern. Disappointing in its own way. I could have sworn one of the tools here had a lantern. And yet it appears I am wrong. Oh! You are kitchenware for the making of cakes, apparently. Alright. Well, then we have options. Many an option. Alright. Now, as for my notes, let's see here. Because I do have some... I did some looking at some of the recipes before recording. Oh, sorry. Continue, please. Was wondering why this wasn't progressing, and I'm like, oh yes, I have it paused while I speak. But no, I did have some time to do a little bit of looking around at recipes. Although I don't know. I don't know if it's more satisfying to see me make the realizations here, recorded, or if it's better off just, you know, being something I do on my own, because it's not very interesting to see me just throw recipes at the wall and see what happens. Pleading tuppence? Oh no! I've got an egg and Alex suggests a meal would be welcome. Oh, I'm sorry. I could feed you an egg, I suppose. I don't have food for you. Well, that's not true. Give me one moment. I don't have space for this. Oh, no. There we are. Misshapen fruit could be an option. Mackerel, perhaps. So as to make you more... Well, you know what? No. Let me not worry about the chicken right now. There's other business afoot. Can't get too distracted here. There's work to be done. Great and terrible works to be done, some might say. Also works that might twist my soul in various directions. Inam capigli... Yep. I'm gonna give up on that. No, I'm stubborn. Inam capigigiliper. Garki and Crippus, in which 4 enigmatic figures tell the stories they've learned over the year at the Roost, a secret location where the Aviform hours congregate. And that's quite a bit of moth. And I do like transformations and liberations, but my god. That is quite a bit of moth that I need for this. Doable, but not by me, not now. Let's consider some other books. See what resources we find. Wonderful. Now, I believe a little bit of water might do some good. And then honey and kitchen bowls. Yep, we're going to use this to get to the Maze Crazed room or the Wounded room. One or the other. Probably the Wounded room because it's connected to more mysterious things. And it appears to have a writing desk and maybe beds? Perhaps? I know, I'm going to be using her assistance a lot in the near future. As for the Lenten Rose, oh, it's got a little bit of Grail in it, which I believe I needed. A Memory of Regret. And nothing else. Fair, I suppose? Oh, you look very simple. The high traditions of noble endeavor. Disciplines of the hammer to purify and combine the selves and the essences. This hammer shapes gates and shatters doors within us and without. You seem very simple, relatively simple, I should say. Lord knows I've been wrong in the past. But now, we must be prepared for when we are finished there. In the meantime, we have some fixing and mending to do. Get me more money. Get me more resources. Get me more. You know, I wonder if I should go after the wine cellar next. Well, a matter for the future. Here, I'm giving you cookware to deal with this. I just don't know what the best use of our resources here, because I kind of want to get into the pantry, but... Do I have other uses for heart? Because we are very close here. Although, honestly, lantern here is probably the better option by a lot. But, of course, I can't use that if there's no nectar compatible bed, or I don't find a way to get enough nectar together. Speaking of, you have 2 nectar, you. And you have moon and moth. Moon and moth will grant me 4 nectar. What does chore give me in terms of nectar? Nothing, because it has none. Health will get me 2, which gets me to 6. Which means I only need 1 more nectar, which I can get with a memory, if I recall correctly. Oh. Pause. We're cutting things a little bit close. Also, give me these back. That is mine. This is yours. Here, have some honey. If nothing else, this lets us explore more of the house. So it is technically worth it. Yep, sorry. Need to feed you books. Make you grow up big and strong. No, I haven't used any of my shaft. Oh. Get in there. Speaking of, I don't know how I pulled this off, but according to my notes here, nothing I have will evolve my shaft at all, which does not seem correct. It seems I must have missed some skill. But that's something I'm going to review later. Right now... Thank you. Please unlock this room. Please let it have a bed that I can use to cure my current condition. Because it's rather thrown a wrench into my current plans, I have to say. A lot of the recipes I'm looking at require a lantern, are the ones I found, so it's like... I don't have the resources to... Oh, hello, or rhinoscopy, you say? Well, well, well. Appreciated. Except I also don't have the resources for that, because I don't have any sky from my... Let me look. Oh, I might be able to pull it off. With just that one bit of sky, but... I say. And once again, I'll carry that regret to tomorrow, but... Yeah, you'll be fine. Oh, I should also put these back. These little baking implements. But yeah, really happy that we found this little area. Since now, in summer and autumn, and perhaps spring? No, just summer and autumn? Just summer and autumn. Purely summer and autumn. Except for the grapes, which can be done in spring. But yeah, I'll be able to make some things that provide sustenance. No, not the fatigued one. There you are. I find myself in desperate need of more, of literally everything. Again, written in Vac, which is a language I do not speak. So, to the unusable books you go. Except I need to find another shelf for the unusable books. Oh, dear. I need people to start stealing a few of these. Oh, dear. Oh, yes. Sorry. Are we transitioned to night? Officially? Transitioned to night? I ask because I want to throw this over here. Okay. I guess I'll get distracted by this and then forget about it. Perfect! Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. Okay. I have a way to cure my condition, and I think that is what I'm going to finish off today on, because... Oh god, that's going to be annoying. Oh god. Okay. I appreciate the coffee. And the investigator's suitcase, which is a cache. Night has fallen. Good. Alright. Memory, you get to live for another day. To be used and consumed in some sort of wintry, most likely, deal. A bolt of buttercup linen, suitable for a summer suit or an altar veil. This is fabric and fiber. Well, yes, Kilisimi, the woven language, is written with thread, not ink. There are, of course, other more prosaic uses for fiber, too. Upholstery can be more adventurous than it sounds. Am I going to have to make furniture? Huh. Oh, and the shadowless silk, which I had used up in my foolishness. Good. I'm glad there's more. And if I had more forge, I'd be able to use that now, but, well, here we are. Can I use you here? The fascinated? No, it's maladied and therefore is useless. Oh, dear. Well, yeah, I don't really know how to make anything. I can't because my soul is spent quite completely. Alright. Oh, and also, let me look at you. Blockaded stairs that'll take basically anything, but are quite expensive in terms of what they want. My. And I don't get to know what that is, but that's fine. I'm not particularly upset about that. I am mildly upset about this, but even that's not so bad. As for you, glass blowing skill will do for that. I need something else that has sky, and I don't think I have anything else that has even the smallest amount of sky besides my Faust, which is currently glitching out. Not perhaps the most beneficial use of sky. Let me see what other sky options I have. You would require 10. You would require 8. If I can restore my Faust today, which is itself a very big if, I could get this taken care of, which also gives me preliminal meter, which I imagine is used for various musical options, quote unquote. So if by chance I get the resources for that, that's what we'll do. If not, we'll endure. As always, we shall endure. Also has edge to it, so I could use it over here. Oh no. Am I incorrect? There you are. Which wouldn't be the worst of ideas. Let's see. 2, 5 edge to his 1 edge. Oh, yes, one does forget. I'll burn the 1 metal. Hi, I need your services. Technically, I have better uses for his services. And perhaps even using Forge, well. Deal with that when we get there. I thought you had less Forge than that. And by less Forge, I mean less Edge. Let's start with a little bit of a chat. And the memory of regret is maintained. Yeah, just a little bit of hail and then an edge tool, which I wonder if this will work. It's a knife. Do you like knives? Well, I'm going to learn shortly. Anyway, as we have gotten this one taken care of, I will use Fat. Yes. Decamp from there. And then the question becomes, what's the least expensive option to deal with our condition? Forge, scale, heart. Forge, scale, heart. See, the problem is my health and my chore I want to use to make or to gather. And I need to use my... I don't think I have another option. I might have one other option, but for my own sake. There we are. And we're going to talk about the hail. It's awful, isn't it? Now, let me into here, this dim hall hung with weapons. Appreciated, thank you. Oh, and my shaft is useless to me, so... in you go. Again, I want to finish some of these others, but... well... I have Faust to restore, and I have other things to deal with. So it might be in my best interest, for now, to get this dim hall dealt with. Follow the weather, use the weather to determine how I do what I do. I think that is not unreasonable. Blue Crown has sky in it, which is useful. I just want to see... what's the other thing I can gather in winter? Lenten Rose in winter. We'll spend 1 health on it. The lesser of the healths, just so I have as much as I need. Where is... Coiling Chasm? There you are. And then we have Insects and Nectar to help deal with other problems. And, I'm sorry, get back here. We're not done talking to each other yet. Question, what else can you collaborate with? A tool, beverage, metal. Metal works? Is there edge in this copper wire? No, there's forge, though. Which is good to know. That'll be a problem for the future. But no. Let me see. I know we have something here that has... really, I can't just give you a sword. Alas. I know I have something here that has some edge to it. Surely I must. None of my drinks have edge? Bizarre. How very peculiar. Ah, there you are. The saw. Alright. And that should get us enough to get into this dim hall. The walls are hung with weapons. As I essay the threshold, a whisper troubles the still air, and a pair of wall-hung swords, glints menacingly. More of Van Loren's protections. They seem much stronger on the seaward side than the landward side of the house. One might begin to wonder if they were intended to protect against outsiders at all. Yes. I think it's safe to say they're trying to contain something, but why and what? Much and more we do not know. Much and more we have to learn. I do love this. We have so many useful capabilities all of a sudden. If you would, dear friend. Oh, sorry. Can you just go back to where you were? Thank you. Appreciated. Oh, and something's finished. My money. Delightful. Here, take some more from me. Now the question becomes, how do I want to get all of my nectar ready? Because this will grant me 4. That gets me to 6, which is not quite enough, alas. So the memory is probably the best option. Which book is that? De Horis, book 2. Another book on disciplines of the hammer. Interesting. Also another very easy edge book. But not what we're doing right now. Let me see here. Where is the one that has just a little bit of nectar? Kitling. is what I've written down here. So, the moon's egg, the book of the centipede, kittling ripe and moldy warps, etc. Just throw a bit of tryst in there. And that should all be enough, and should preserve this sacrament malachite. After all, if it's more potent, I don't want to use it, if I don't have to. So first of all, we are restoring this with the health, and that, and eventually a memory, but also with these. Alright, plan seems to be mostly working. Or seems like it will work. As for going back to crafting things, well, once I've restored our Faust, we'll worry about that for next episode, I suppose. We're getting an hour and 21 minutes in. Now, sometimes I feel like I don't get nearly enough done for my tastes. Also, apparently I had Lenten Rose already. Unfortunate. But there you are. And just to keep... Oh, well, I guess I can't keep all the samples. Can I just put them all here? Perhaps I can. Let me just put you over here, you over there. Nope. Yep. Please. There you are. All 5 samples of the flowers I can find. I say all 5, I think these are... Do I have other things? Moth orchids in spring and summer. But only moth orchids. A fragrant chalice, is that among the plants I have up here? Trumpeter's lily, Lenten rose, nope. Cool. So 2 more remaining. And then I have to find a use for the flowers I already have. Well, actually, what am I doing? I could have just considered any of these flowers and gotten the 1 nectar. Foolishness. But foolishness that has been rewarded with, hello, Natalia Bruleux. I don't know where you are, but you are going to be a 4th librarian. For now. Oh my, quite a few weapons. Historical weapons. Wall art, I assume? Wall art and made of wood. A dappled practice sword. And other things. Practice equipment. Still the best place in the house to get hurt. Ah, dueling. Nonsense. I see. The dueling hall. In baronial times, this was a ballroom, but in the 19th century, during Bruleux's time as librarian, a dyad of eternal dueling edgelong agreed to stay at Hush House for a year and a day to allow Natalia to study them, if she satisfied certain conditions. A properly equipped space was one of those conditions. Ultimately, the business turned out to be a trap or trick played by one or both of the dyad, and they left after only a single battle. Their names are recorded as Mistress Dearday and Father Torg. Curious. And matched flintlock pistols. Again, wall art. A pair of pistols, the style and the maker's mark suggest late 17th century. The initials MD are marked in silver above the Wolf Seigent of the Baron's Bankrug. Afraid I don't know what a Seigent is. I assume it's like a seal. A whist? Yeah, let's just burn that here. Although perhaps I could have used whist instead of Faust for my lantern crafting, but oh well. Matters for the future. Still, I might be able to find some use for this. Not the most useful room in the world, but still. Oh, you're trivial to complete. Let's see here. Yes, Kittling Ripe and all. The memory of impulse is what we're here for. Which is a more powerful memory than what I need, but also might be exactly what I want. We're going up that way. Still, matters for the future. Right now, I have a condition that needs fixing. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to use these Thurza's cordials, because if I recall correctly, I crafted those, and I don't remember how I crafted those. but I can find out if I need to. Ah, there we are. And in 3 minutes, we will be good to go on that front. Another win for the librarian, who finally has a completed soul. I think that's the most exciting part here. Unfortunately, it's also a completely used up soul, so I can no longer consider things. Nor can I keep this memory, which is a little more painful than the matters of the soul. Oh, and I can't even just start throwing things up here because yes, well. Actually, I think I'm going to throw the Lenten Rose and the Blue Crown over here since they grow in winter. And can I throw you a bit closer? Or can I throw these all a little bit closer? Can I fit all 7 flowers into this space? Maybe. Perhaps, or perhaps not. We'll find out. More will be revealed in spring. Let's see here. Oh, I need effort, yes, so. Seeing as our soul is completely drained and I have no other options, onward to the future. Yes, thank you. We appreciate your money, as much money as you will grant me. Question, can you just split that? No. I just want a penny, miss. Oh. I just want a penny to throw into the little... to throw into the well. But okay. That actually might be a difficult thing to get a hold of, as it turns out. Although I say that. No, hold on to it for now. We have ideas and thoughts, but not now. Not right now. Right now. Well, perhaps. Remind me, how much moth is needed here? 6 moth. Trist has 3. That memory has 2. And I'm sure I have something else with moth here. A moment, please, while I look. Ah, perfect. I have food that has moth to it. Misshapen fruit, which is disturbing itself. But okay. And with this, I can just borrow anybody, so... Hey, what am I blocking there? Hey, we're going to use Arab here. If the midwife could help us, please. Oh, or perhaps someone else. Hail, edge, sky, edge, sky, edge, sky. Just thinking is all, just thinking. Thinking and plotting and planning, as always. Well, it's true, I can't use this any other way. Assistance from a fisherman. Let's use Fet here. See what unusual help you find. Might be just enough. Perhaps. Perchance. In the meanwhile, let's do some more harvesting. After all, while I currently don't have any use for Blue Crown, I don't know that that will always be the case. Okay, sorry, I thought I saw Edict's Inviolable saying something, but no. And while we got the Blue Crown... Pardon? Yes, Sea Blessed pears, I know. I'm aware of them. Nope, get away. Let's see, where is the Lenten Rose? There you are. A little bit of health, and a little bit of that other thing that has nectar in it. Let's see, where are you? Where are you? Oh, right, you're currently restoring my Faust, of course. Of course. What else would it be doing? The midwife, please. I am going to make you into someone who can use moth. Sorry, technically. I suppose. Remind me what the principles of moth are, actually. Looking more detailed. I know a man who captured moths in a bell jar on nights like this, who would release them one by one to die in the candle. Moth is the wild and perilous principle of chaos and yearning. Disturbing on multiple levels. Alright, but edge and sky. Well, let's see what... Let's wait. Let's see what unusual help we find, and I might end up just looking through a book. Before we commit, let's learn. Alright, and though fatigued, I have my Faust back. Which means, where's the Lenten rose grow? There you are. And there you are. Perfect. Alright. Alright. Oh, yes, yes. What was the plan? The plan was to feed her, yes, but also... Oh no. What was the other moth thing I had? Because I needed just one more bit of moth at the time, but I now... Oh dear. I need 6 moth, yes? Yeah, so I need 3, or 5 heart. Oh no. Oh no, my brain. You're just wall art? Pity. I suppose consider the mantis? Nope. Consider the mantis and see if that does anything? I think I might have just sort of screwed up here. Quite poorly. Ah. Well, that being the case, I mean... I'm sure I can make use of you somehow. Yeah. Oh, wow, really? Am I crazy here? What? You have 2 moth. Must match at least one of these. And she does. Oh. It just wants ink. Oh. I'm sorry. I just assumed that was like every other building that wanted assistance. My bad. Oh, this is awkward. I might have just invited you over here for no reason. Yep. Well. Well, I mean, let me do some looking around. See if I have anything with moth to it. Oh dear. Honey scar scented candles? Only has 1 moth to it, though. Moth. Well, there is some... Solomon's Preparation, which is a drink, which is an option, I guess, but there are better options out there. Oh, cuckoo honey. I mean, it's from Numa, and it's got a lot of traits that I would like to use on something else, but by the same token, it would serve. Is it the best use of our resources? No. Not even slightly. Not by any bizarre definition. Actually, I could just get Impulse and then feed her that. Yes, that's what the plan was from the beginning. Okay. My brain has processed that it needs to actually do things. Okay. Let's see what we found here. A poet, of all things. Who has moth to him? Well, that's lovely. They also have sky, though, so maybe there's something to be said there. Let's pay him. Provides winter, moth, and sky, and quite a bit of all. Alas, with my whist currently being consumed, might not be suitable for what I want to do. But I can yet find something for you, I'm sure. 4 sky, after all. And this would take you to 7 sky. 7 sky. Which is insanely not enough for anything. Truly. Well. Let me do a little bit of restoration of myself. Can I restore myself? Actually, I should have asked that before I did this. Restore it with just a little glass of water, yes? Damn you. Yes, there we are. And then that will get me 2 more sky. Okay, so I still need to give him something. But once I'm done considering this painting, which I shouldn't have been considering in the first place, I'll be all ready. And I don't think I should stop now, because I will not remember this plan. Yeah, that just grants me nothing, in fact. Okay, so pause. Are we actually in spring now? No, we're in winter still. Okay. So, pausing for a moment, because I need to consider... where's Kitling gone? There you are. Kitling, Ripe, and the Moldy Warp's Grave and other stories. Shapt over there. And after I finish considering this, I need something that contains a little bit of sky. Just one little teeny tiny bit of sky, which would be that astrolabe. Perfect. The plan is set. And also I should put you back in the laboratory. Back to the laboratory with you. The blue crown, I'll figure something out with that. By any chance, do you like flowers, dear sir? You do. That makes this much easier. Here we go. To put thy pale lost lilies out of mind. It's insane to me that you are okay with that, but okay. And that'll get me up to the stopped clock, which for some reason a poet knows how to fix. Don't ask me why, but okay. Alright, we could get 2 rooms going. Well, possibly even 3 if I'm very lucky. It would require something quite exceptional, though. Alright. Oh, well, yes, collect the dust as well. But, get over there. Here, have an astrolabe. Here, take this astrolabe and fix the clock. Yes. I know what I asked you to do. Shut up and do it. We are a madman. An absolute madman. And you may think me also mad for taking all these roses and other plants, but I have ideas. I have thoughts. Many thoughts. Many ideas. Oh no. Well, not even that metal. You're not my favorite use of resources, but you are a use of resources. And you just need ink. Very peculiar types of ink, too. Ugol, I think, would be the perfect one for that. But where do I have some Ugol ink? Perihibate, which is a minor ink of power. My Faust Restored, which is now unnecessary, honestly. Although, I say that. Well, let me finish this first. Before we go doing anything else. You have been empowered, exalted, strengthened, made more. And in the meantime, the midwife. We must do the same. While you finish that up. And she's working there. Now, on matters of auroral contemplations, we can create Eigenrau, and we know we can make Xanthotic Essence, but... Question. Let's see here. What if we had to add... Oh, no. No, there was something else. Perhaps it wasn't... No. We know there's another way, another path. Purifications and exaltations? Yes. Which can also create Refulgin all on its own, and Torg's cleansing, apparently. Will this create both? I'm curious, and so we will learn. But I don't remember what Refulgin is. The Vizant transcriptions. Oh. That's awful. The Vizant inscriptions. Everett Vizant just transcribed these from a cliff in Anatolia. Somewhere in Turkey, if I recall correctly. Where he famously survived a lightning strike. He died 7 years later to the day. His bones, the legend has it, were hot to the touch. And it has transformations and liberations as well. Oh, bother. Well, yes, someone has unhelpfully placed a curse which may tear open the unwilling eye of the soul. This contamination can affect your Fet and Faust. You can remove it with a skill that's effective against curses. Whew, lad, I'm very grateful. Very scared, but also very grateful. Huh. Grateful that didn't take one of my skills. Ugh. The dawn period is terrifying, I must say. Do I want to finish considerations? No. No, to be honest, I want money. For that little bit of metal. But yeah, things are coming together. I'm actually really happy about this. Because once it becomes springtime, we'll be able to get a lot more, just a lot more of everything. And I may, perhaps, you're not a tool? Really? Perhaps, be able to get some wax. Close one there. We have more collaborations to do. And you must return all the way back over here. All the way over here. There we are. But yes, Ugal Inc. I think would take care of you. I think. Let me check. At the writing desk, I think I have some. 2 nectar? What else did you want? Oh, nectar's the only thing you don't want, oddly enough. Has to be a form of ink, though. It has to be something like Ugal. And yes, I could use my existing stores of ink, but... well, at least this ashore in particular has a particular thing it is going to be used for. Because I can study using ink at one of these reading desks, which is vitally important. At least to the long-term plans. Thinking, debating, making choices. I mean, I suppose... is Catwink an ink? It is an ink. Oh, well, that should be perfect. I already know I can make Catwink. That's relatively trivial with inks of containment. Although perhaps I should experiment with something else. Well, either way. Stargall, I don't know. But Catwink, I do. Hold on to it, though, because I can only unlock one room at a time, and so we must wait. Oh. The Great Clock. Something that lets me evolve via horomachistry and has quite the variety to it. Every flame has its fuel, and every tick has its talk. Oh, and umbrous oil. Oh, so this is what umbrous oil is. Action, recollection. An omen or an element of the soul. A skill, a memory. A recollection, a memory. Oh, and is there... oh, no, that's just... that's all part of the clock. I see. Oh, we have a little pigeon. And further up, there are bells, which require 11 of their respective traits. Oh, my. And yet more still to climb. Alright, we wait a moment. Speed it up against my better judgment. And then there you are. Don't know what the rind is. I guess the fact that they held some food. And Torg's cleansing. But you only made the one? Oh. Well, that's not good. I wanted the refulgin, though. Ah. I have a problem. And the problem is how to make refulgin without Faust, or with a lesser form of Faust. Huh. Well, I didn't expect that. Okay. I wonder how it decides what it creates. Something we'll have to look into and see how we can manipulate. Although, you know, what I should have done is perhaps seen what I can gather. Perhaps. Too late now. Could set me out fixing and amending, but that won't do me much good right now. I'm just curious about this room, you see. And I suppose we should review the tower clock. George Collars, governor of Bancroft Jail, oversaw the design and installation of this great clock with the reluctant help of the librarian Serena Blackwood. She might have refused outright, had she known how he intended to reuse the horologist's techniques for his so-called condignator. An inscription on the greatest wheel reads, "Strike the hours." Was George Collars trying to destroy the hours? A curious thing. What's up here, by the way? The 3rd floor. Oh. The theoplasmic miasma, that hung around the room below is a little stronger here and is a little different. with a rotten, musky scent that suggests a decaying reptile house. Perhaps something layered here after the inhabitants departed. Perhaps the inhabitants dreamed unwisely. In any case, the right counter-influences will dispel it. More books, always useful, but also desiccated witchworms. Nasty little things, but almost safe when they're dead. When they're this dead. A Scaptodon fang. Other things, indeed. Ichor auroral. Which, if I knew how to make, might be useful. A tool that has both forge and nectar. Leothy, a dark and syrupy liqueur, favored in unnamed forest villages. Iotic incense. In the later operations of the forge, the madrigad yields to the true Forge of Days and the essence begins to redden. The bit about the true Forge of Days nearly got Saint Melanthe burned for the heresy, but no one ever said she was wrong about the second part. Interesting. Lethe Lees, the dark aftermath of a dark drink. A sly alembic. A cheeky decanter of wine fortified with unusual influences. And scales. Interesting, one moment. Pardon me. A well-appointed laboratory for a scholar of conventional therapies. And I wonder if these are hints as to how certain other things may be made. This sly alembic may use domain ravelin as a ingredient, perhaps. And this is a form of kitchenware, you say? Some of these are things I know how to make, some of them not so much. But okay. Before we close out, I do want to get this bridge unlocked. I'm curious why it was so easy to unlock, though. That's a concern of mine. I'm also concerned that my Faust combined with, I believe it was Purifications. Sorry, there we are. Yes, I'm concerned that because of the way I used my Faust, I evidently cannot use Purifications and Exaltations to create Refulgin, which is odd to me. Especially if I'm going to be stuck with just using it for Torg's Cleansing, which is... I mean, it's useful, yes, and I'm going to attempt to preserve it. And fail. So it's going to disappear right now. But still, it's an odd thing. One more oddity to deal with. I kind of just assumed I would be able to generate both, or have a choice in which I generated. Did I have a choice? Something to look into in the future. For now, though, we collect our money. Our 5 pence. And a florin. And, well, we debate things. We debate many choices. I think I need to focus on gathering things from out here in the future. But come, I wish to see... Oh. Year tally. A chitty worth an additional life. A year of life, rather. Scrupulously obtained through carefully balanced thaumaturgic attention to the cindered tally of the madrigad. And quite a few books as well. Interesting. A shrouded space. With curious masks, of all things. And looks to be figurines as well? If the wards on this place were real, they would be heavy curtains of black velvet that stung the grazing hand. They aren't real in any meaningful sense of the word. I'll still need to dispose of them before I can enter safely. Squawkful loggia. Birds crowd every corner of this place, glaring at me with malevolent yellow eyes. Guano cakes the walls and feathers drift the floors. Something has drawn them here. It'll need to be dealt with. Once it has, the place will take an awful lot of cleaning. And it appears to be something of a... like a little viewing place. Odd. Still, something to look into. And furthermore, this vestibulum transitus. Vestibulum transitus was the wry name the Curia gave this structure. Before that, it was Valentine's Bridge, the sheltered crossing beyond which Baron Valentine's solitude was assured. Curious. Curious, curious, curious. And we do have a few other things in this basement area. Oh, and apparently a secret passage as well. Much and more to explore. I think, though, that this will all be a matter for next episode. And further, and further, that, that you have changed my considerations very rapidly. Very unkindly, I might say. But, hey, we could get the pantry taken care of. That should be no small matter. And we will move from there to next episode. A lot of progress, well, I say that, a lot of problems solved, as it were. I also have to figure out what evolves my shaft. That's going to be a bit more of a problem for me to deal with, but deal with it we will. And it remains winter, so I don't know precisely what I will do, but one of the things I will be doing, in fact, I will set it up right now, before I do anything else. I wish to know about these inks of revelation. And so, with a little bit of Faust, a touch of, let's see, where are you? No, I know you are here. There you are. But is there something better? There you are. The Watchman's Paradox, which does let me craft a Tanglebrag, and that is delightful, don't get me wrong. However, with ink. Admittedly, Ashartine is hard to come by, but in theory, as this is an ink of revelation, I will be able to make it in the not-too-near future, as I don't know how far up the complexity levels it is, but all this and more, things to be discovered in the future. For now, thank you for your time. Note the like, comment, and subscribe buttons below. Use them responsibly, and I will see you all soon. Goodbye.